Start here, at the coordinates 8881 in the southeast corner of the Eastern Plague Land zone, at the back of Tyr's Hand. Run through this gate and through the center of the town before heading off to the right in order to find the mage tower back here at the coordinates 9989. Once you are here, you will have to solve a puzzle in order to enter the tower. By running through the gate on the right side of the tower, you will cause some crystals to spawn, including the red crystal that we need for this puzzle. Simply run over it in order to get the red coalescence buff. Running through the left gate will instead cause some blue crystals to spawn. Run over one of those to obtain the blue coalescence buff. Ensure that you have both of these buffs active at the same time, and then run up to these floating crystals off to the right side. When you enter this hole in the ground, you should get zapped by the floating crystal, and if you had both the red and blue buffs active, you should now have a new buff called Violet Coalescence, which will allow you to enter the tower. Now that you are inside the tower, be very careful not to get too close to any NPCs in here. If they touch you, you will be teleported out of the tower and the crystal will reduce your health to 0, forcing you to respawn and redo the puzzle to get back in. With this in mind, you will now need to navigate the tower and inspect the bookshelves. They will all have several books protruding from them that you can interact with. When you mouse over the books, your cursor will change to either a magnifying glass or a cogwheel. You will want to find the books that turn your cursor into a cogwheel in order to get the enchants. I'm not sure if their locations are fixed or random, but I found the first one here on the first floor called World of Warcraft. Once you find a book that changes your cursor into a cogwheel, simply walk close to it and right-click on it in order to loot an item with the same name as that book. Next, you will have to disenchant that item with your disenchant spell, which will give you an item called Brilliance of the Grand Sorcerer, Inquisitor, Crusader, or Arcanist, each of which corresponds to a specific enchant. For example, it seems that the World of Warcraft book will give you the item needed for the Grand Sorcerer enchant. Just make sure that you have enough room in your bags to loot it. Finally, you will need to take this item, along with 15 illusion dust and 1 righteous orb, to one of the unused Mote of Possibility found throughout the tower. It will be glowing a bright blue color if you have not used it yet. Walk close to the orb, remembering to watch out for any patrolling NPCs, and then right-click the brilliance that you obtained from disenchanting the book. After the cast finishes, you will obtain a soulbound formula for that enchant, which you can then right-click in order to learn. Here is the effect and materials needed for the Grand Sorcerer enchant in case you are curious. Next, you will repeat this process in order to find the remaining 3 enchants. The next book that I found was located in the bookshelf to the left of the one with the first book and contained a book called From Arcanist to Archmage. Repeat the process of right-clicking on the book and then disenchanting the item that you obtain in order to loot the Brilliance of the Grand Arcanist. Once again, you will have to find an unused Mote of Possibility, such as this one down on the ground floor, and repeat the process to obtain the formula for the Grand Arcanist Enchant. Here is that enchant's material requirements and effects, in case you wanted to know. It took me a while, but I did eventually find the 3rd book all the way up on the top floor, in the bottom right of this bookcase here. Again, I do not know if these locations are fixed or random, but either way, if you keep looking around, you should be able to spot them. This one is called Who, What, Where, When, and Die. 5 keys to a good Inquisition. Repeat the process of clicking on the book and disenchanting it in order to obtain the Brilliance of the Grand Inquisitor, and then find an unused mote, such as this one, also on the top floor, which you will once again approach before right-clicking the Brilliance from your inventory. If done correctly, you will obtain the formula for the Grand Inquisitor enchant, the materials and effect of which you can see here. After being caught by several NPCs, I finally located the 4th and final book here in the top left corner of the bookshelf on the ground floor. It was titled, If You Give a Crusader an Enchant, and awarded the Brilliance of the Grand Crusader when disenchanted. I did have to run all the way back to the top floor in order to find an unused mote, but depending on which ones you used, you may have different ones available. Either way, repeat the process one final time in order to learn the Grand Crusader enchant, which uses these materials in order to imbue this effect. I hope that this video helped you to obtain these amazing new enchants and have fun in Phase 8 of the World of Warcraft Classic Season of Discovery.